catch frogs for me to dissect. But they drew the line when I wanted them to supply me with some dead cats. They didn't want to read when I wanted to read either. Keats, Flaubert, James, Tolstoy, just whatever I could put my hands on. But it wasn't until I got to the University of Nebraska that I really knew that I wanted to do the writing myself. One of our professors assigned us an essay on Thomas Carlyle, and I guess he liked what I wrote because he had it published in the Nebraska State Journal. And the intoxication of seeing one's own words in print. That's when I knew I had to be a writer. Not just any old kind of writer. I wanted to be an artist. And that is difficult. Some of the people I have known in my lifetime are such effortless artists. So Annie Pavelka is one of them. My model for Antonia. She was Annie Sedulak in those days. Annie is one of the truest artists I have ever known in the keenness of her appreciation, in her love of people, and her willingness to take pains. Annie always fascinated me, and I always wanted to write about her, but there was material there for a lurid melodrama. And in writing up Annie's story, I wanted to dwell very lightly on things a novelist might not ordinarily emphasize, and make up her story instead about the little everyday things that make up the greatest part of everybody's life and happiness. Well, of course, Father and I had to visit the Pavelkas when we were running around Webster County last fall. What a family that is, too. Boys are all on the high school teams, and the girls are beautiful and bright. Annie's husband is just as proud of those kids as she is. And of course, he thinks Annie is the most wonderful woman. I'm told that once when he was in Hastings, somebody asked him who he was, and he says, all proud and puffed up, he says, "I am the husband of my Antonia." Someday I'm going to write a story about him too. Because you see, art has got to spring out of the very stuff that life is made of. I never felt any excitement more intense than I used to feel when I would spend the morning with one of these pioneer ranchers' wives at her baking or her butter making. The pioneer rancher's wife is very often a true artist. Oh, even a prima donna. Great cosmopolitan cooks I have known have been prima donnas too. The way to their hearts was exactly the same as to the hearts of the pioneer rancher's wife in my childhood. I must eat a great deal and I must enjoy it. And I did. Well, and you can see I still do. We had the most magnificent dinner at Annie's that day. Roast goose stuffed with apples and banana cream pie. And then, just in case you get hungry on the way into town, some of her famous kolache. Oh yes, Annie is an artist because she makes things beautiful, and she does it every day. But artists of all kinds have always fascinated me, musicians especially. mother always wanted me to have piano lessons, but they'd usually end up with me sitting on Professor Schindelmeiser's lap and asking questions. The process of music making was what I wanted to hear about. I wanted to know the essential thing that makes a great musician or any other kind of great artist. And you know what that essential thing is? It's desire. A desire to express oneself, a clear, compelling thing that must out, whether it be a poem or a painting or an aria or a banana cream pie. That's what I was saying when I wrote Song of the Lark. Thea Kronborg had to have that desire to express herself and to use her exceptional musical talent. Or she would have chosen the ordinary woman's lot of marriage and family. Oh, well, she did marry eventually, but it was only after she had achieved her full potential. Marriage was incidental to her art. When she's asked about her personal life, she says, I don't have any. Your work becomes your personal life. You're not much good until it does. It's like being woven into a big web. You can't pull away. All your little tendrils are woven in there. It takes you and uses you, and it spins you out, and that is your life. Well, of course, I'm talking about myself now. Thea and I part company here with a pioneer rancher's wife who is an artist at baking pies and raising children. What could be more beautiful if you have it in you than to be the wife of a farmer in Wyoming or Nebraska, raise a big family, if you have it in you. But for Thea, the musician, for Willa, the writer, the stuff of intense, personal, human experience has got to be used for art only. Just living, one gets entangled. Duties to perform, faiths and ties to fulfill. I have got to keep it simple. To be free, to work at my table, that is all in all to me. And that's why I don't have a writing table in Nebraska. Because when I go home, I'm just overwhelmed with people, with family and friends and doings. I can't find that quiet center I need to write from. But I do keep going back, don't I? Sometimes I think the hold that land has over me is a curse as well as a blessing. I always keep coming back, which means I spend a lot of time on the train. But I've always done that, too. When I was young, my brother Douglas worked for the railroad out in Cheyenne. So I'd take the train out to see him because we had one of those family passes where we could ride for free. Train wasn't so comfortable in those days. I remember one particular time. Oh, it had to be about 95 degrees that day, and my seat companion was a little boy, maybe about 8 years old, with fleas. Oh, smoke and soot and very lively, very mobile fleas. We couldn't have been 5 minutes out of the station when they discovered me. Douglas had to fumigate me when I got to Wyoming. Oh, but it was worth it. We went camping up in the mountains.